Morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Jeff McKinney, TechP. He is,
Today is Cam City.
and this we're gonna get in. We're gonna get into that because I've never heard of Cam City, but this is for everyone out there. This is the podcast stable, and so we are excited to be here. Cameron has made somewhat of a thunderous comeback. He's feeling good, but before we get into that, let's vibe out for just a bit. Jameis.
Want to create a new place for you to explore it. The algorithm exporting what is important. Tech P a portion in accordance, but it's all anointed. We welcome you to come get a portion. Join us. No more everyday Bron versus Jordan. Jameis said the victory comes from the Lord, but we still prepare the horses. It's the podcast stable. We got more horsepower than Ralph Lauren. They go live and talk reckless, no reporting. I go live and talk facts, but they want to report me. But that won't stop the context, the complex on my conscience for the record, so I will press record.
Live now.
History, we so historic. Silver spoon from above, you mad about euphoric. We talk ball, talk bars, talk all. They talk clown, talk down, talk foul, no call. I am one, they tantrum, tech me, tech please. No referees, but the reference is reverence. So I guess then I earn my stripes and just treat me like the whistle. Stop and listen, it's a new episode to witness. The horses lined up like they competing for the Kentucky Derby. 30 for 30 high like the ref is where you see the jersey. We don't see your jersey. Come holler at me. Another one. They thought I was dead.
Man, I can't get enough. Kudos to Cam Kenny. But today, he's going by Cam City. Can you help us understand just what that means?
Man, Cam City. Well, I mean, if you know me, I am Cam Kenny, Cam McKinney. My last name is a city. But today is Cam City because I got the citizens out of Manchester. We are playing Arsenal currently right now live. We are in the 50th minute. They're probably about to go to halftime right now. We are up 1-0. We got us a goal, but they've been kind of dominating possession. So we need the game plan and go ahead and get 2-0 and put them in the ground because we got some ground to make up on the table, and we got the talent and we're that team. I mean, you don't know much about English soccer, but for the last 6 years, we won the title in the Premier League 4 times, maybe 5. We won 4 in a row actually at one point. So, yeah, 4 out of the last 6. We didn't win last year. We got I think 3rd last year.
But so this year's looking good or no?
This year is not looking the best, but it's the start of the season. So we're 2-2 right now. We got 2 losses early on, but at the same time, like we've been in situations where we've been trailing the whole season, and we're just all it takes is for that team at the top to lose one game. We're gonna be right there. So you got to keep up your pace, because if you don't, we're right there.
Hold on, I got to check your pulse. That sounds like it may be a slight case of gerrymandering. Is it really going to be a championship year, or are we just selling the vision of championship this year?
We got the players. I just told you we won 4 in a row.
That sounds like another gerrymandering comment.
No. But a gerrymandering comment will come for a team that hasn't won in 20 plus years. This is a team that won besides last year, 4 previous seasons in a row. Unprecedented. Hasn't been done in English history. So what I'm trying to say, this is not gerrymandering. We have the players. We have people that have won on the squad currently. And we got a coach he's coached Messi, he's coached Bayern Munich, and he's coached us for a while. We need to get it done. We have those expectations. It's not like over here where people just look at the logo. This is real. This is real blue, the real blue side.
All right. Well, since we're talking about numbers and we're talking about, kind of the state of things, why don't we get, before we jump into this week, let's get into last week. We went into last week. I believe you were 0 for 5. Is that what we were looking at?
I was 0 for 5, and I told everyone, I said, fade me if you dare. Fade me if you dare. And guess what? I come back the next week. Even your best barber couldn't fade me. 4-1. 4-1. And my one is the Jets. I picked the Jets because I just did it. You know, I pick upset sometimes just because. But other than that, I mean, it would have been a 5-0. This week, I think the games that I pick are a little bit tougher. I mean, it's going to be game time decisions for me. I'm not going to lie to you.
So before I pull this down, you know, I want to talk about my performance last week. You know, we both went with the Packers. Micah Parsons looked even better. You know, we'll talk a bit about the Dallas Cowboys and how they looked. And Micah Parsons did not look like he had an injured back in last week. We did go with the Cowboys. The Cowboys did win. You know, I don't want to say or take much more than that from they actually beat the New York Football Giants barely. And it was another gem by Dak Prescott. Eagles and Chiefs. You know, in that particular game, I thought that it would have been the Chiefs waking up, but the Eagles continued to roll forward. So I wasn't too upset about that pick. I could see that being one that I would lose. The Bills and the Jets. The Bills are looking really good. The Texans. I mean, I picked the Texans because I have friends in Houston, and there's always this thing about Dallas not supporting Houston. But I did support Houston, and you let me down. And you let me down, H-Town. And so, Tiger Barra, Big John, Jared Domain, all of them boys out of H-Town. Listen, I need for you guys to go ahead and throw in the towel, or tell me in the comments, give me a phone call or whatever. Are the Houston Texans going to compete like they are continuing on in their growth from last year, this year, or are we taking steps backwards?
Well, let me interject real quick. If they're continuing from last year wasn't that good. Their division just wasn't good, so they got a 4th seed. You know, you had Anthony Richardson tapping out of games and walking out on his team. They didn't have no backup. You got the Jaguars, and I mean, Jaguars haven't been good in a while. And then who's the last team in the South? Titans? Oh yeah. Who's there? Will Levis? Oh yeah, turnover machine last year. They got Cam Ward this year, but that's still gonna take some time. They waltzed into it last year, and hey, it's looking like the Colts. It's looking like the Colts is about to run with that one. And, I mean, and even if it's not the Colts, the Jags is solid enough. Houston. And the reason why I'm getting onto them, I don't have no thing against Houston. You could be in San Diego. You could be in Washington. You could be in New Mexico. But you started saying C.J. Stroud was better than Dak Prescott off of one season. I'm tired of this. It's very disrespectful. It's very disrespectful because Dak Prescott comes out another year and he's having another dominant year healthy. And none of y'all has said you were wrong. None of you. None of you have retracted. If anything, there are excuses being made. Number 4 is the best quarterback in Texas, and no one has fixed their stance.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get on to standing on a pedestal because CJ Stroud, is he the reason why they appear to be taking a step back? I don't know. So I don't want to put that on CJ just yet. I mean, this is what I believe about people who talk. I believe they talk. And I believe they talk for whatever motives they have. And I'm not really sure that people realize that they say something about themselves when they speak. And so if you are someone who will speak negatively about Dak Prescott, that starts to make me think why. The guy has come out from a rookie, not expecting to start, and delivered year over year in an environment where Jerry Jones is in control. But you know, I have to say that that's something that you have to factor in. Yep. And so Dallas, Dak, CJ, Dak is obviously a better quarterback. There was never any question there. And anyone who thought otherwise were projecting either their personal beliefs or the future state of CJ and the future state of Dak. And so, you know, if we were to go and just kind of jump back up to that Dallas Cowboy game, what did you see in that game last week?
The Giants game? I saw like prime times 2 Russell Wilson. I mean, goodness graciousness, they had him looking like Aaron Rodgers mixed in with Joe Montana, mixed in with Tom Brady. I mean, he was just dropping in passes and just having anything that he wanted in regulation. I'm talking about right into the bucket. Like just perfect.
Right over the top. Oh, 3rd and 21.
I'm like, man, what is going on with these defensive backs, man? Like, I know y'all have more time to cover, but like, it's not even just that. Like, they're just blowing their coverages and stuff like that. So, I have a statement that I'm like sitting on, and I won't say that it's like fact yet, but I'm thinking Brandon Aubrey he's definitely the best kicker in the NFL. Now, in this NFL, should we value special teams more or defense more? Because if we have someone who can automatically make it from 64 plus, I mean, darn near plus, I don't know if you could beat that. If we can score on offense and we got someone who can make it from 64 plus, that might be more valuable than, you know, and I don't want to say a name, but I'm just saying, like, Brandon Aubrey he's that guy.
In Dallas, he's just that valuable because they can't score touchdowns when they need to.
Who?
And so the Dallas Cowboys.
They scored like 40 points.
They did. But in the NFL, it's about touchdowns. And so I love Brandon Aubrey, and I'm grateful for that talent for the Cowboys. But if we look at the recent history, there have been struggles in the red zone. They have been struggle converting, and that's the reason why we recognize Brandon Aubrey in that way. And me as a retired Dallas Cowboy fan and the president of the retired Dallas Cowboy fan club, I appreciate him. Because he's going to do his part in securing that 8-8 type of outcome for the team in Dallas. You taking the Dallas Cowboys for more than 8 wins this year?
For sure. It's Dak Prescott's healthy with two wideouts. And the reason why I say that about Brandon Aubrey is because Russell Wilson dropped one in the basket with 30 seconds left. And all Dak has to do is get it to a 64-yard range for a kicker to give extra time. That's why I'm saying he's so valuable, because it's automatic.
And every week, the Dallas Cowboys, no matter who they're playing, will either lose or be in a tight right to the end. The Giants, the week before, were obliterated by the Commies, I believe.
First game of the season.
You should be ready for the first game of the season. You should be ready.
You should be, but some people.
What happened to Washington last week?
Exactly. My point proven.
What happened to them?
They faced the Giants, and I picked Green Bay. Go back and watch that podcast, y'all. I picked Green Bay because I said Washington beat the Giants in the first game of the season. I don't know if I believe yet. Show me some more. Because I watched a lot of Washington games last year. I watched the Cincinnati game where they beat Cincinnati in the beginning of the season. Cincinnati normally doesn't start off great. I watched the Chicago game where they won off of a Hail Mary. They won a lot of tight games to get into the playoffs. Solid team, but I need more. I need more. That's for Major Tutty.
Major Tutty. They're taking shots at you on the podcast table. I saw a divisional rival blow out another divisional rival. And then I saw Washington go, I believe it was, were they in Green Bay or was Green Bay in Washington? Green Bay. They were in Green Bay, and Green Bay just walked over them like they didn't show up. And then the Giants came here with a divisional rival in the Dallas Cowboys. And I mean, at what point did the Dallas Cowboys win that game? I think it wasn't until the final second. Like it was uncomfortably.
Yeah, it was a possession in overtime.
Yeah, it was
won the game.
It was. We're gonna see. Let's move on to today. What are we opening with Cam City?
Let's just start off and rip the Band-Aid off. Let's keep it on Dallas. We got TechP versus Chicago. Chicago.
You know, I believe in the first episode I pointed this week out, and as you all know, I am no longer an active Dallas Cowboy fan. I'm always from Oak Cliff and from Dallas. However, I'm taking a stand. We are coined the term gerrymandering. Jerry Jones has for 30 years contributed to a lack of winning and mediocrity, while also profiting on the backs of people who work hard. And so I could go on and on my soapbox there. However, today they're lining up against the Chicago Bears. And so I have so many different feelings for so many different reasons about this game in that city. I've spent a lot of good times in Chicago. I've met a lot of people from Chicago. And so I'm just looking forward to being able to share a bit about those times and why that place means so much to me. And really what we're going to call about the game.
Yeah, look, for me, Chicago versus the Dallas Cowboys. I think it could be close just because of the way the defense has been playing. But I can't pick Caleb Williams. Well, I started off this season, my 0-5 started saying that the Chicago Bears would end, my week 1 pick with a win against the Vikings, and they blew a lead in the fourth quarter to a rookie quarterback. And when I look at, I don't want to be hard on people. But look, man, we hype these people up that are coming out because we need a media run and stuff like that. But sometimes these guys are not number 1 overall picks. It's okay. Some they might get picked number 1 overall, but they're not number 1 overall picks. They just got good branding. They got good, someone's pressed the button, and now that they're in our minds subconsciously. But when we look at the track record, he lost a game in college and he asked for his dog. I don't know. I can't consciously really, after seeing the performances so far this season, I can't pick him. I can't. And hopefully this is the last Chicago Bears game that we cover, because I will probably pick against him every time because I cannot pick him. I tried to say that it was going to be different. I cannot pick him. So
this is the battle of two teams that haven't brought home a Lombardi in in disrespectfully 30 and 40 years. 30 years for the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones's boys, and 40 years for the Bears. Let's let that sit in. One of the only teams in the NFL that the Dallas Cowboys can talk trash to legitimately is the Bears. And so I don't want to jump and start to have this negative energy about the Bears. I mean, I could call them the bums. You could. You could. I didn't. I talked about what I could do. I will say, I believe our defensive coordinator. Where is he from?
Who? Oh, what is his name again? Hold on.
Where is he from?
I think he's from Chicago. He was in Chicago's. Dallas defensive. Once I see his name,
yeah. I mean, his name. We want to forget his name.
Yeah.
We want to forget his name. Russell Wilson looked like
flus. Ugh.
Russell Wilson looked like a better version of a player that he never was last week, and he's won Super Bowls. Russell Wilson, I mean, Sierra should call Charlemagne back and talk to Charlemagne about that performance, because Russ, they should call John Elway and say, John, well, what were you thinking a few years ago? Russ still had this. Russ still had this. Russ looked against the Dallas Cowboys like a star. They still lost because they're the Giants. This week against the Bears, I wish I could take nobody. I am going to go out on a limb and close my eyes and just take a pick, and I'm going to pick Dallas. I'm going to pick Dallas. And one of the reasons why I'm going to pick Dallas is because I'm from Dallas. I love Dallas, and Dallas is my city. And there's people in Chicago that love Dallas. There's people in Dallas that love Chicago. And I'm going to, because of that single affiliation, and that affiliation alone, I'm going to be, and the fact that Chicago has already looked like they're going to be more of what they have been, and they're the one team that hasn't won in a longer period of time than Dallas, 40 years. Shout out Fridge. Shout out to all the OGs that wore that uniform. Much respect. When I was in the 5th grade, Super Bowl shuffle and that whole deal. I remember watching that at school. It was a great time, a great point in my life. And that's what I remember the Chicago Bears for. I remember them from 1985. I don't remember anything else.
All right. Well, let's move on. We both picked Dallas. Next up, we got the Los Angeles Rams visiting the reigning champions in Philadelphia. Eagles. Who you got?
In Philly?
In Philly.
In Philadelphia, we want to go. I'm gonna go. I mean, I got, as a former Dallas Cowboy fan, I can now feel okay with just making an unbiased pick, and I think Philly should win this game.
Okay.
I think Philly should win this game. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn-out speech. I think Philly should win this game.
For me, I'm going to go with the LA Rams. I'm going to go with LA Rams. I think they got the coach. They got a solid quarterback. They got the wideouts. I mean, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. The run game is straight. If you could do it on all levels against the Eagles, you're going to have to kind of have a shootout, because they have a move that, I think we should discuss, that is kind of unstoppable because for a lot of reasons. And I think it should be banned, because how do you regulate people jumping off sides? It's too much cluster. They can't do a false start or anything like that. And they're getting away with, not having to earn it. I feel like that's just me. Like when quarterback, I don't have a problem with quarterback sneaks and stuff. You know, that happened all the time. But this tush push, the way that they jump off the O-line and they never get punished. Never get punished. And I think without that, they would have not beat the Chiefs last week. And the Chiefs weren't even that great. So I think the Rams are a better team than the Chiefs. I think their quarterback's playing better right now because he got better weapons right now. They got a great coach, Super Bowl head winning coach over there, and I think they walk into Philly. They're gonna win by I say anywhere from 4-7. They win by 4-7.
So back to the tush push.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's as simple as that, then why isn't it adopted by more teams?
Oh no, don't get it twisted. The only other team that could probably run it are the Bills because of the way that their quarterback is built. But for me, what I'm saying is their O-line is great. They have the best O-line in the league probably. But they're jumping off sides before the snap. It's impossible. It's literally impossible. Even if it's 4th and 2, it's pretty much impossible to stop if they need it. So that's why I'm like, hey, look, unless we can review each tush push. If y'all put a camera above and say, we're going to review each time they tush push, oh, he jumped off sides, bring it back. I'm cool with that.
But you know what that would have, you know what would have to happen if they did that?
What?
They would have to hold on just a second. They would have to bring in some type of I think some type of auto camera type of technology to be able to do some real censoring. And I don't know that they want to be that exact. You know, I say it again.
I said that's fine. Ban it.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't know. I don't know that they want to ban it. I think they want the flexibility of being able to call off sides when they want to call off sides. I think that's more valuable.
Yeah, well,
I think that's more valuable. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, even if you go with ball placement, they could use a Internet of Things ball device that's got this technology in it, and they can know exactly where the placement of that ball is in that field at all times if they wanted to.
Yeah, I know that, and I get what you're saying. That's why I'm saying just ban it. I would be okay if you brought in that technology for the tush push because if you want to keep the move, and let's see what the real success rate is. But if we're going to cheat and the O-line is going to jump every time before, this move needs to be banned. This move carried them to a Super Bowl victory.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
Without that move, without that play, they don't win the Super Bowl. With all the great players that they have, they don't win that without that in their back pocket. And
so who would have the Super Bowl then?
Who would have the Super Bowl from last year? If I had to choose, I would say the Rams probably would have went and won it. The Rams, they probably would have beat the Eagles, and then they would have beat Washington, and the Chiefs would have lost to the Rams. That's what I think, at least last year, the way that everything played out. But honestly, I don't know if the Eagles win the number 1 seed. So do they win the division without the tush push?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I mean, you're rethinking the whole thing. I didn't think about it that deeply. I think in Philadelphia this weekend, you're taking LA. I'm gonna take the Eagles. That's what we got next.
Let's see. Let me look at my list right here. All right, we got a divisional matchup versus Cardinals versus the Niners.
Is Brock Purdy in or out? He's out, right?
Who?
Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy has been ruled out. It's going to be Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
It's going to be Mac Jones, which leads to the question, how do you feel about the quarterback situations here? I mean, you got, Brock Purdy carried them to a Super Bowl. He didn't really carry them, but he was there when they got to the Super Bowl. But he was making like probably less than $1 million.
Yeah, like $300,000-$400,000.
Yeah.
If
now
that.
he's a $50 million a year quarterback. Would you rather have him, or would you rather have, Kyler Murray? How do you feel about that situation?
Well, I mean, Kyler Murray's ought to be due for a re-up here soon, and he's not too far behind that. He's not on a rookie deal. So yeah, so Kyler Murray ought to be at least a $33-35 million guy right now. And
with
so this
contract.
Say it again.
I said originally with a stipulation in his contract not to play video games.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I heard some stories about that. To answer the question, would I rather have Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy? I think if I'm looking at body of work, I would have to say Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, I mean, I saw him with my own eyes do things at the high school level in Texas. I think he's undefeated. I don't think he ever lost a high school game. And I've seen him bring his team back. We were out there at Jerry's World. I think I was there. Yeah, I took you and we took the boys and all that. We saw him bring that team back against DeSoto. And they kicked a field goal as the clock expired with no timeouts.
Yeah.
And so I saw Kyler Murray and then went down to A&M and then over to OU. And so I watched him pretty closely. Brock Purdy, not as much. However, Brock Purdy, given the quarterback market and the folks in the front office with the 49ers, they felt like it was better to have Brock Purdy over, let's just say, a guy like what's my guy, the other Sooner quarterback that's in Tampa Bay? What's his name? Gunslinger. Baker Mayfield. And so Baker Mayfield is not making $50 million a year. And so, you have some teams taking that approach. They go get a Baker, they go get a Geno, they go get a, kind of a stopgap. You see those type of, kind of players that are getting second and third chances. They felt like they wanted to put $50 million on Purdy. And I don't know if I would have done that. I don't think I would have. Because I'm sure it's a 4 or 5 year deal. So you lock yourself in that way. So, and straight out the gates, he's unavailable. So we wish he get the help that he needs to get back healthy. I would have not spent $50 million on Brock Purdy. But they decided they see him more often. That's what they would rather do.
Yeah. And we'll see how it plays out. Today, with Mac Jones starting, I mean, they still got a lot of pieces over there in San Fran, but I'm going to go with an upset. I'm going to say, hey, Kyler Murray, you need to go and win this game. I think if he's not in the contract here, he's close to it. I mean, time's ticking. I mean, the Cardinals are like, they could go to a rebuild anytime if they really wanted to. If, that's a very tough division. That was the second thing that I had put down for this game. This might be the most competitive division in football. Maybe in the NFC, or, you still got the, NFC North, you got the AFC North, but this division right here is so well balanced that it could go to any one of them. And hey, Kyler, go and it's wide open. Go and get it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got Mac Jones in here. Go and get it done.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take Arizona.
I think it's a toss up. I think Kyler has been, he's had his flow in Arizona. You've heard the conversations about whether or not it was over for him or not. He's the quarterback, the starting quarterback, so he's always got to be on message, on brand. I wouldn't be surprised in the offseason or in the next year if he would end up in another place. And so, I'm going to go with a player that's playing for their quarterbacking life. And that's over on the 49ers side. Hope he goes out, plays loose. And 49ers at home should have what it takes to beat the Arizona Cardinals. And if they don't, just because Brock Purdy, who we just discussed, is he really a difference maker? I don't think so. So they should be able to be pretty close to as efficient. And so I'm going to go with the 49ers.
Okay. All right. Next up, we got a team that we were talking about earlier. Actually, two teams we talked about earlier. We got the Kansas City Chiefs going to New York to face the Giants. Russell Wilson coming off of a great week. Can he make a miracle happen?
Before I answer this question, I want you to look and tell me who the Giants, well, while I'm answering, who the Giants have next week, because this might be Russell Wilson's last week starting.
Let's look.
And so I don't believe that Andy Reid and the Chiefs at 0-2 are going to go into New York and lose this game. I just can't imagine that being the case. Now, my question is whether or not the Chiefs defense can take all-world Russ and stop him from doing what he did to Jerry's boys last week. And so if Russ has a terrible game, I think, there's going to be so much pressure. They're already putting Dak Jackson Dart in some, some different packages.
Ooh. The next game is the Chargers. So I think if anything, even if they lose this game, they would throw Russ to those Wolves before they put Jackson Dart in. Yeah. Because the following week they have the Saints. So Russ, this is a must-win, Russ. This is a must. This is a must win. Like, I mean, must win. Like, you gotta win this one, bro. You gotta. I don't know. You got the Chiefs?
Oh yeah, I got the Chiefs.
Man, I've been trying this whole time before we started the show. When I put the list together, I said, "Don't pick the Giants. Don't pick the Giants. Do not pick the Giants. Like, no matter how bad the Chiefs have looked and this, that, and the other, don't pick the Giants." But I did not. And I'm going to pick the Giants. I'm sorry. Look, I can't trust the Chiefs anymore. But show me. I can't trust the Giants either. But I mean, I saw some, offensive firepower, and they don't got nobody that can cover Malik Neighbors over there. I don't think so.
Man, that guy right there, man. I mean,
hey,
Diggs. Hey, Diggs. You lost a step. I mean, good gracious. This guy was just right over the top of him. Good gracious. And I think I read something. Oh, yeah, Diggs is going to be traveling with this guy. Man, pull that from the internet, Diggs. Scrub the internet. Because if you were traveling with him, then you're still following. You're not in the same. I mean, you're behind. This guy, what was it? Three balls? Or it was. I mean, it was at least 2 or 3 deep balls.
Yeah, just
so yeah.
In their home. When I look at it, the bill has come due for the Kansas City Chiefs. The bill has come due. It's time to suffer. All the fake fans disperse. All the real fans, time for hardship. We all go through it. And now it's time for you.
They got Taylor Swift, man. They got a new set of fans that are just going to be there.
Yeah. This is it. Kelsey. This is his last season. Hey. It's over. It's over for y'all for a while. Now, remember, Tom Brady won 3 championships and went like maybe 10 years with, before winning another one. So y'all won 2. It might be done. I mean, y'all might be done forever. We'll see. I'm not going to count out your GM and your coach because they've done a great job in the past. But I will say there's one move that could change everything, even if they start 0-3.
What's that?
Go and get Tyreek Hill back. This will be a match made in heaven. You're missing explosiveness. You're missing that playmaking factor that he had. He's missing his quarterback, this ability that Andy Reid brings. Go and find a way to get back Tyreek Hill. Trade Hollywood Brown in a pick or something. Get Tyreek Hill back in that system, and you probably win 10 straight and maybe even win the AFC West still again, because that's how dynamic that would be. And honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. And I hope they do it for the sport, because that would be great to see Tyreek Hill thriving again. And the Chiefs are good for the sport right now. They are good for the sport, even if they, not the best. But if they gonna make that move, that would be great.
Yeah. So we had on here earlier and we didn't touch on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're basically saying that Miami is done.
Miami is done for a few reasons. First off, man, they've had all these reports coming out about how they basically are just disrespecting the coach. Like Jalen Ramsey, when he was there, he was walking out of practice, leaving, for the day, showing up late. Tyreek Hill showing up late, this, that, and the other. And, life is good in Miami. They, sunshine, they're living the life. It's hard, especially with a coach like that who's not like imposing. And this is no offense to you, Mike McDaniel, but like you're a player's guy, but like sometimes I don't know, that's not what's needed. And for y'all to go 0-3 the way that y'all did, because y'all had a chance against the Bills, y'all had a chance and y'all had them, and constant discipline mistakes from the defense and the offense shows me that this experiment is pretty much done. So now it's a matter of time. Does Tyreek Hill gets traded in the season, or does he get traded after the season? Does Mike McDaniel get fired during the season, or does he get fired after the season? Those are the questions that we're asking about the Miami Dolphins, because their season is pretty much over. It's no coming back. Unfortunately, unfortunately, but hey,
Mike McDaniel went into a very, very tight situation. I believe Brian Flores was the coach before him. It may have been one in between.
Nope.
And so he was coming into a situation into where Brian Flores, who just disappeared into Bolivia, which means NDA and bags, usually is what that means, would be my guess. Say it again.
Brian Flores sued the NFL.
Well, no, I think he's working. But what I mean by the story and the allegations just dissipated.
No, they're still going. They're still going. It's not. The button is not pushed on it. Like, we're not getting a whole bunch of news about it. You know what I'm saying? If that's what you mean, I get that, but it's still going.
Do you remember the coverage you got?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything, and I work in this space pretty closely, so I haven't heard anything of it. And I haven't looked either. But back to Mike McDaniel's position, walking into that situation, that's a culture that if Brian Flores wasn't being honest, then that would have come out by now. And so we got to look at the culture of what Stephen Ross has built there in Miami from an ownership level. And so you're telling me that players get to do things that the coach doesn't approve, and somehow they get to stay around. And so the coach is not anybody's father. He's not he doesn't have any weapons, doesn't have any. I mean, what real dealing with men, what real teeth does he have besides to expect that men will be responsible and professional? And so if you have those type of people that are in your culture and they don't respect the culture, and it is not something that they're held accountable for, and they get to remain, then that typically means that the culture will be unhealthy and people will be unsuccessful. And that's what we're seeing. And so I would have to point back to the very, very top of ownership, because there was some allegations of paying for losing from Brian Flores. If you go back and look at that. And so now you expect for a first-time coach, a young guy, to come in and be able to right that ship, clean that culture up, when they're going to take the superstars and not hold them accountable. So if Tyreek Evans can show up on time in Kansas City, then that's where he should be. If he's not going to show up on time in Miami, then Miami should let that be known out in the public and let their fans hold Tyreek accountable to that, let his stock and his value reflect that, and then go out and get rid of him. And so that's how you build winning cultures, through accountability. And so I think, say it again.
No, I said, yeah, I think it's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. And so,
I propose.
Yeah. So I just wanted to touch on that Miami situation because we had put it on to touch on, and you were talking through, Tyreek possibly returning back to Kansas City, which I think would actually give them a whole lot of life, because he seems to have a whole lot of gas in the tank. And I think that I wish that Tua all the best in a safe rest of his football career and a swift exit, because his head and his head injuries are a real concern, and something that I think is a real danger.
No, for sure. Definitely agree with that last sentiment. All right, let's touch on the last football game. We got Monday Night Football. The Detroit Lions versus the Baltimore Ravens. Two high-powered offenses.
Man,
what do you think is going to happen?
We both love Lamar. I think this is going to be an exciting game. I know it's going to be an exciting game. We can talk about it from all different angles. I think, oh man, I just can't. I can't pull against Lamar on Monday night. I just can't. I just cannot pull against Lamar on Monday night. And so I'm going to pick the Ravens to win. The Lions, I think they have everything it takes to win this game, but I'm taking the Ravens.
For me, I want to say that I learned, oh my gosh, Colts defense already scored. I want to say that I've learned.
The Eagles just intercepted Stafford.
Oh man. I want to say that I learned my lesson with the Ravens. And I told you my first week when I went 0-5, I didn't want to pick them because of their coach. I did not want to pick them. But this week, do you know this? Lamar Jackson has never lost to an NFC team.
I didn't know that.
He's never lost to an NFC team.
Wow.
So for me, and it's at home, I think it's going to be somewhat of a shootout. Jared Goff is going to give you something, but the Ravens defense is going to give you a lot too. They're not the best pass defense, but they will find a way to win this one because they have to. Cincinnati Bengals are down. Pittsburgh is like, what are they? And the Browns are done. So you need to go ahead and establish this position. Now, you can say the same for the Lions because they're trailing the Packers right now. But do they have it still? I don't know if they ever had it in the first place. I think the previous season, Jordan Love's turnover machine kind of helped them. And the Vikings, Sam Darnold was okay, but he wasn't,
They had a solid season. Sam Darnold was looking like he had resurrected his career.
Sam Darnold was doing enough needed to win the games. But they didn't win the division. I rate Jared Goff as the number one pick. So I would take him a little bit over Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's probably the number 2 and number 3 pick. But the Lions, you feel like they have everything to compete. I do not feel that way because they don't have the quarterback in my eyes. They do not have him. He is a turnover machine. He will turn the ball over when they least need him to.
He's not Dak Prescott. He's not Dak Prescott, but in the
He's not even near
NFL,
that.
say it again.
He's not near that. But
Yeah,
what?
I know, but in the
Is he
NFL,
Baker Mayfield?
he's better than Baker Mayfield, I would say.
No.
Yeah, no,
No,
he's better
I'm
than Baker
saying-
Mayfield.
I'm standing on. If Jared Goff was on the Buccaneers, man, they would have been losing. They would have been losing.
I see the sentiment. I'm going to take the Ravens at home. I do think Detroit has firepower and they have a solid team, and I do like their coach. I do like his ability to lead and inspire men. So I'm giving them some credit for that. I just don't think that Lamar is going to allow that to happen on the field Monday night. That's what I don't.
Yeah, they had he's never lost against the NFC team. And then you also got the fact that Derrick Henry had a bad week last week against the Browns. They won the game, but he didn't have the greatest day. So look for him to come out rumbling, bumbling, stumbling past people, stiff arming. Hey.
Yeah, and I asked you that question. Did he still have it?
He does. No, look, the Browns said they was ready for him. They proved it. They wasn't ready for Lamar Jackson. So that's a double-headed monster that you got to deal with. Sometimes you're not gonna have the greatest game every game. Like Saquon didn't have the greatest game against Dallas, they still won. It happens like that sometimes. But this week, Derrick Henry he's looking to bounce back.
All right, we're gonna see. So you got the Ravens, and I got the Ravens.
We both got the Ravens. So going back through it, we both got the Cowboys. What was the second game that we picked? I got the Rams. Stafford threw a pick. You got the Eagles, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got the Eagles.
49ers, Cardinals.
I got Cardinals. You got Niners. You got Chiefs. I got Giants. And we both got Ravens. So besides Ravens and Cowboys, it's going to be looking,
Hey, listen.
Hey.
Things going to change. Things going to change. The gap shall widen. Hey, listen. Oh, so hold on. We got one more thing that we gotta. Trae Young. Come out with your hands up. Pat Beverly is calling you out. Trae Young, come out with your hands up. What do you think about that?
So do you know the whole sequence of events of how this kind of played out, at least in the public eye?
What I understand is Pat Beverly went about his business for his career, the first 9 years of his career, and went to the playoffs and all of those things. Trae Young has had his whatever, and Pat Beverly was, I guess there was a tweet or something made where someone was asking about the All-Star game. And Pat Beverly made the statement of, the All-Stars do X, Y, and Z, and they don't value whatever his comment was. And Trae Young responded from the perspective of an All-Star. And it was it's Tush Push time, by the way. First down.
I don't have it on.
Yeah, they have first down. And so Trae Young responded back and said something of the nature, let the All-Stars speak for the All-Stars or something like that.
Yeah, let us speak for ourselves.
And Pat Bev came out, and he's been almost on a semi-press run, tossing that off the glass and continuously winning the endorsement.
NBA Street.
He's been tossing oops to himself from that since. And so that's how far am I off? Did I miss anything?
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it right there. For me personally, look, the first comment, the All-Stars are taking it for granted. Look, I was fortunate enough to see All-Star games in the 2000s. So I'm not saying play hard the whole game, but I know that in the fourth quarter, and it was close, they were playing for the bragging rights. And you know, I don't know if they knew this, that the future wouldn't, the future NBA athletes would not do this. But now I appreciate them so much more because they did. Because that's what we were watching for. We want to see the best players with, some great teammates and stuff like that against each other. Little, 5-on-5, rec run, blacktop run, that's what we want to see. And look, if it came from Kevin Durant, LeBron James, I know Kevin Durant kind of got involved with the tweeting with Pat Beverly too. It's still the same message. We want to see y'all play in the fourth quarter. If y'all don't want to play in the fourth quarter, give it to somebody who's going to play in the fourth quarter. Because y'all talking about, you're not on this level. Well, then no one should watch the sport or talk about it.
Hold on real quick.
No one should watch the sport or talk about it if that's the case. You cover your own sport and you do your own thing, and we'll see what the negotiations are like when the new CBA comes up, the new TV comes up, because y'all not doing numbers because y'all want to just talk about it. Look, bro, and for Trae Young, for me, you're All-Star mostly because you're in the East. There are guys in the West that don't make it. If they were in the East, they're making it over you. I do think you're a talented player. I think you lean too much into the scoring aspect. If you played into a traditional point guard role and like modeled more after Steve Nash than Steph Curry, Atlanta could be something and people will want to play there. And then you could have that argument against Pat Bev. But you want to pull up your stats against Pat Bev. That's the whole point that he's proven against you. Like, you got stats, but like, no one wants to play with you. Like, no one's going to Atlanta. It's not a small market, but like, no one wants to go to Atlanta.
But that predates Trae Young. That predates Trae Young. I can't recall what I call a max level player ever signing as a free agent in Atlanta.
We don't need max level players to be competitive.
No, I'm just saying it's representative of that market. And so I don't recall a player in the end of their career ever choosing, hey, look, I'm going to go sign with Atlanta. The times when I've seen Atlanta somewhat compete, it's been through them having players that they drafted turn out for them to compete, and they're usually at their very best a second round exit team. And
Paul
so
Millsap wasn't there.
Who?
They went and got Paul Millsap.
They went and got him. What do you mean, when they traded for him?
Yeah, they went and got Paul Millsap.
Yeah,
I mean he was towards the end of his career. But
I'm saying they signed in free agency to go there. Like, you're not going to take a player that's like, hey, I just got bought out, let me go to Atlanta. The players don't do that. And this is a place where they love to go. They love to go play a game in Atlanta. They love to go play in Miami. These are spots that are very welcoming to these types. And so that says a lot to me. I look at what Trae Young is saying, and I think that he responded from a position of defense. I think a better question for Pat Bev would have been, so Pat, what is the solution? We're looking for solutions.
Play hard, bro.
Well, it's not quite that easy. And the reason why I say that is because the NBA has fostered a culture where you don't have to play hard until after the All-Star break. And so this is the break. This is the break after the first half of the season, which was a break. And now we're talking about the NBA culture. The NBA culture, if we want to talk about that as a whole, these are players that are load managing, that are looking at their entire career, looking at their bodies as an asset and saying, hey, we want to have a certain type of regimen to where we low balance and all the rest of these things. It's not the same league.
Man, for me, it's more of a player thing. Kobe Bryant, I was a big fan of Kobe Bryant's game. He wasn't trying to lose the All-Star game. Even Tim Duncan, he's not.
But he was the only one out there playing like he didn't want to lose.
Man, nah, KG's out there not playing like he don't want to lose.
Not the only one. I mean, you could see the West take on the persona of a Kobe. You could see these things. Now, the Kobe went. Who else? Who would you compare? Take Kyrie out.
You know about today's game?
Yep. From a mentality standpoint. From a mentality standpoint, take Kyrie out. Which
nobody. That's why I'm saying the problem is. And I could compare a few players to Kobe's mentality, and not all the way. Like, it's not going to be exact. Like, they're not training as hard as him, but they're not wanting to lose or like giving up bragging rights of, hey, we won the All-Star game. Like,
what is lose?
Kevin Garnett's competing. Even Tim Duncan is silently competing. Shaq is competing. Like, these players are not competing. It's all love, and we just got out here. We're getting a little extra bag for this little game, and we got this added to our resume. We should not add this to your resume if you're not playing hard. Sorry, because the people before you, they was playing hard. At least in the fourth quarter. I'm not asking for the whole game. But give us something, or else we just stop watching, and then you can debate your sport. You and Kevin Durant, Trae Young, you can debate your sport with each other, and
that gets to my last point about this. Pat Bev, what he's doing is he's taking advantage of the algorithm, and so he saw an opportunity to say something he could be authentic about while leveraging the likeness of someone who is an all-star level. And the algorithm, I had never even seen the Pat Bev podcast before this. Never seen a clip. I still haven't watched it. But I've seen, for some reason in the last week, I've seen Pat Bev and I've seen Memphis Bleak. And I don't know why.
I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know why. And so there is a company or a system behind these celebrities or entertainers that have podcasts that they all go to, that will load them up with the right set of fake followers and the right set of bots to now make them go, as long as they can find something controversial to talk about. And that's what you have here. Who has time to internet beef? You have Trae Young's phone number. You have Pat Bell's phone number. You guys are supposed to be on the same team in the same community. I mean, you and I, why would we go out and start talking negatively towards each other in the public, other than we behind the scenes have something in place to say, let's do this, or because there's some type of ulterior motive? And so this is to me more reflective of the culture of social media than anything else. Because if it didn't make sense to talk about, then Pat Bev wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, for me, I side with Pat Bev. Look, at the end of the day, like, stats and stuff are cool, especially like when you're coming up and you're not in the pros. But at a certain point in the pros, at least, you should be trying to compete and trying to win. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool you got those stats, but
you don't think Trae Young is trying to win?
No, not. I mean, he might be trying to win in his own way, but that's not it. It's not it.
That way that he's attempting to win is the type that has been promoted, accepted by everyone in leadership along the way, from his youth basketball to high school to a year or two at OU to Atlanta. And so now to come take a guy who may be 6 foot and tell him that and his strength was being able to shoot from the logo, he never was going to be an imposing defensive threat. Like, this is the player.
Well, I think that's the problem. I don't think his strength was that. I think that was Steph Curry's strength. And, he's decent at it. He's not Dame Lillard at it. But his strength is passing. He is a great passer, and he's a great playmaker.
Well, one of the reasons why his strength is passing, one of the reasons why his strength is passing is because he has a certain level of respect from a certain range. I'm not respecting that percentage from that range. And you see teams, you see their record. We're not respecting that. Yeah, I mean, they're not this is entertainment.
And no offense to Trae. I'm saying this I see the potential in you. Like the player that you can be Steve Nash. You really could be Steve Nash.
Who does Steve Nash play with?
Steve Nash played with Sean Marion, Jason Richardson, who else? Mark Stoudemire, Dirk, Raja. I mean, he played with some good teammates, but they wanted to play with him because he was a playmaker. And that's what I'm trying to tell Trae Young. Look, all that scoring stuff, that's not going to work.
Okay, so tell me who Trae Young has played with.
Trae Young has played with, what's the center's name from Houston? I can't remember his name.
Clint Capella.
He's got the Johnson kid, pretty good at defense. Yeah, I don't watch basketball like that no more, so I can't tell you exactly.
Well, I can tell you that what you just named some Hall of Famers.
Who?
And Sean Marion is fringe Hall of Fame in the NBA.
Sure, fringe.
Yeah, fringe. Dirk is definitely a Hall of Famer. Amari Stoudemire is a Hall of Famer.
But him and Dirk had problems until he learned. Yeah.
Nash and Dirk had problems?
They didn't win.
Absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not.
He became a better player when he went to Phoenix.
I disagree with that. He actually played in Phoenix twice, I believe. But
he started in Phoenix, came to Dallas, and then went back.
No. He and Dirk were like peanut butter and jelly from the very beginning. And the city of Dallas was heartbroken when Steve Nash left and went to Phoenix. And so we ended up in Dallas at the time replacing him with Jason Kidd either that season or the following season, and it turned out to be a championship. But what happened? Tied it up.
They tied it. What just happened?
Cam City is tied. So let's I will say for this, let's keep watching. Let's see if Trae comes back and really plays differently. But I do think that's just his style of ball. That's him as a player. It's always been him. To expect him to be something different. But he's not the only player that's out there in the All-Star game that's playing that way.
Oh, yeah, no. I can get on a lot of them. But I'm going to say everyone watching the podcast table, keep watching and let me know, because I will not be watching the NBA like that. Sorry. Until the playoffs come. I'll be up to date with the news and this, that, and other, but I'm not watching these guys.
Well, you heard what Adam Silver said. For those players who can't, or those people who can't afford to watch it, then they could just watch the
highlights.
The highlights.
I don't even want to watch those.
Yeah.
I grew up loving basketball. I don't want to watch none of that stuff. Sorry. Hey, y'all. I can't keep supporting this. The same way that you feel about gerrymandering, I got NBA mandering, I got silver mandering, I got
I think mandering. I'm gonna be shining the light on them. I'm gonna be shining the light on them because I just think that there's a certain level of influence that's not being talked about to the level of it not being authentic competition. And so I'm here to provide solutions and provide visibility into things that make a difference. And so these guys are afforded a ton of resources that I don't actually see a ton of greatness or impact coming from them that's reflective of the type of resources that they have. And so to be given a platform to mail it in and not work hard and then to not take care of people at the same time, these guys really need a reality check. And so Trae Young is basically telling you, hey, we don't have to work hard. I don't have to change. I don't have to grow. I can just be the same player. Pat Bev is not making really any sense when he says, oh, well, nobody's going to remember you. So what? You still already got all the money and got paid and all the rest of it. And Pat Bev, nobody's going to remember you either. And so the way people remember you is by making an impact on other people. And so if what your goal is to be remembered because you won a championship, I think that is something that is antiquated. Again, what does that mean? We see these players, they sell these rings, they trade them, they give them away. Really at the end of the day, you would even hear someone say that their rings don't matter. And so I am of the mindset that rings don't matter unless you use the platform to go out and make a change, make an impact on humanity. And so we need to start watching and measuring that right along with rings. And so that's what I would say to Pat Bev. That's what I would say to Trae Young. And, just because you spend a couple weeks in the summer doing something with some children, good for you. There's 52 weeks in a year, I think, 52, 53, and 365 days. And all of us have jobs and things that we are to do. But outside of those things, we are called to make an impact on other people. And so that's what I have to say about Pat Bev and Trae Young. So final thoughts, final takeaways.
Final takeaways. I got a few upsets this week. We'll see if I can, get on track and get my record above 500. I need my record above 500. It's about time we need some, we haven't seen too many upsets yet. So, Giants, Russell Wilson.
Right over the top. Well, this has been an episode of the podcast stable. He is
Cam City. Oh my God.
Cam City. Hopefully you guys pull that out. I am Jeff McKinney, TechP. Peace.